So I'm Cassidy.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Sarah.
And we interviewed Amanda Beasley at Waterwheel Cafe. And she's also my manager, so I work there.
All right, so the first question we asked was, what are strategies that you use to improve the productivity/performance of your employees? And Amanda said that everyone has different motivations, and at first it can be difficult to assess what exactly those are for an individual. But she tries to learn individuals' motivations and work with them to cultivate strategies for completing tasks.
Yeah, and to build on top of that, I think it's really popular in the restaurant business that some people are just viewing it as a stepping stone, like to work there during college, and then some people really do view it as an end because they do want to be in the restaurant business long term, and it's really appropriate and important to respect both of those.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay. The second question we asked was, how important are interpersonal relationships with employees to you? And she responded saying, interpersonal relationships are incredibly important in a workplace environment. The nature of restaurants is a very special one, and it is hard to motivate employees without those relationships. I think we can all agree on this just from our own experience in the restaurant business. It is really important to have those relationships, even outside of work, just for mutual respect to one another, actually liking where you're at, and the employees can really see that.
And especially at Waterwheel, everyone gets along with Amanda and the rest of the managers super well, and it creates more a respectful environment. And this is kind of the overarching theme of this interview as well, that just interpersonal relationships are super important for Amanda. What are your biggest challenges you face, and some examples? The challenges that she mentioned was the hiring process to find out where individuals fit best in the workplace and train accordingly, firing employees, demonstrating assertiveness, and new responsibilities, in charge of most in-house operations, including hiring, firing employees, and daily operations like money handling, closing, opening the cafe, and etc. And with the hiring process, I think that she tries to find people that would get along with everybody else and have a nice work environment as well.
Going along with the challenges, we also asked what are her biggest rewards from her job, and she stated that her relationships with employees and customers and her freedom in management and controlling the structure of management. She directly stated that freedom to cultivate the environment you want to be in is really important to her, and I think it's really important to have a good structure, because if not, the whole system just falls apart.
And we were talking about how it takes a certain kind of person to really utilize that freedom in the right way to form the right environment that you want to cultivate. We asked, what past experiences can you bring to the job? And she responded saying, mostly general life experiences, relationships, friendships, and just talking to people. Also feeling out situations with individuals. I think it's number one for her is really just communication, because she's talking to people, whether it be employees or customers, all day.
Yeah, and feeling out where a conversation should go. And she does a good job of that.
Yeah.
I know I'm biased, but I like her. She said, do you meet with your employees often to work out issues? And she said, it really depends on the problem and the individual. It's a case-by-case situation. I talk to my employees when necessary and as needed, because everyone is different. And that makes sense, because everyone has different problems, and I feel like it really depends on what the person did or the situation around it.
Mm-hmm. And going back to the interpersonal relationship, if something's going on outside of work and you have that relationship with your manager, to express it and just explain it to her, I think that's very helpful in the situation.
And to be honest, I feel like that's the biggest thing, genuine.
And the last question we asked her was, how do you manage new versus experienced staff? And she stated that it's really based on the individual and where they worked beforehand, if they're experienced in the restaurant industry. Sometimes experience can be a negative, and people can tend to be overly confident or pretentious. For new employees, Amanda gives them time, works with them, and just tries to be patient throughout.
She also mentioned, in the interview, that it could be a negative with some people, because people fall into habits if they're a waitress or a cook, and every place is different. So just learning and those different habits and changing accordingly can be sometimes difficult. But usually it works out.
Yeah. But I think throughout all of the questions, her answers really emphasized her main point of like the emphasis she wants to put on the one-on-one relationships that she wants to have with her employees, just so she can make the whole system work all together.
Yeah, and she's a great manager. So.